Modern society operates on a silent assumption that progress means infinite, uninterrupted growth. We expect the lines on our charts to continually point upward, and we tend to view any delay, limitation, or institutional boundary as a catastrophic failure of the system. An architecture that relies on unchecked expansion without a containing boundary cannot sustain itself. The outward momentum eventually outpaces the strength of the core, and the structure simply shatters under its own weight. Astrology provides a complex pattern recognition system to map these necessary rhythms of growth and limitation. The principle of strict limitation is represented by the archetype of Saturn. It functions as the ultimate cosmic auditor, a mechanism that measures the reality and boundaries of our environment. To survive over the long term, both individuals and human civilizations require these periodic systemic audits. The pressure exposes the weak points in our designs, forcing a correction before the entire structure can collapse. The Saturn archetype enforces the law of contraction. This period operates much like a harsh winter, a season where resources tighten, societal excesses are stripped away, and lenient rules are temporarily suspended. This environmental tightening demands that systems conserve their energy. Instead of mindlessly expanding outward, attention is forced inward, requiring a stabilization and consolidation of existing assets. The precise locations where this pressure is applied are mapped using aspects, the specific geometric angles formed between different active points in the sky. A 90-degree angle creates a square, generating friction to fix ignored structural flaws. A 180-degree polarity creates an opposition, holding forces at opposite ends, forcing confrontation with failing systems. This geometry is a symbolic map visualizing how pressure tests our boundaries. These geometric tensions are the mechanisms that compel individuals and societies to define their boundaries, enforce discipline, and eventually mature. This principle of archetypal pressure scales up to the collective level, where planetary cycles provide a lens to view massive shifts in geopolitical dynamics. When societal systems buckle under an archetypal stress test, the thinnest connections snap. This shedding of excess weight ensures the primary, load-bearing core survives. In mundane astrology, the Saturn archetype crossing major chart thresholds signifies a cycle where human institutions face intense, unavoidable scrutiny. During these transits, populations often discover that previous institutional leniency can no longer be sustained. The lack of resources frequently forces the underlying social contracts of a society to be rewritten. Living through these historical bottlenecks feels chaotic, but within this esoteric framework, this friction is an essential phase of civilizational maturation. Systemic pressure at the macro level prunes away the fragile and the corrupt so that only the structurally sound foundations remain standing. In this esoteric worldview, these celestial stress tests are not fatalistic curses or deterministic predictions to be feared. The heavy weight of societal and personal pressure felt during these cycles is the universe asking a single, uncompromising question: is this built to last? Mapping these archetypal patterns provides a structural framework for navigating periods of delay and limitation. The correct response to this pressure is to buckle down. It is a designated time to display discipline and do the quiet, rigorous work of reinforcing our foundations. The friction points identified in the geometry act as the load-bearing pillars of long-term endurance. The delays we face, the boundaries we must enforce, and the institutional audits we navigate. The geometry of these struggles forms the blueprint for a structure that actually holds.